Rome was built on obedience, discipline, and the unbreakable chain of command. Yet once, far from the marble halls of the Senate and the roaring crowds of the Forum, a single Roman general chose to break that chain. Not out of madness, not out of ambition alone, but because he believed the Republic had already betrayed itself. His name was Quintus Sertorius, and for nearly a decade he defied the greatest empire of the ancient world, and almost won. History remembers Rome as inevitable, unstoppable, eternal. Its legions marched, its laws followed, its enemies fell one by one. But what almost no one tells you is that Rome came terrifyingly close to tearing itself apart from the inside, not because of foreign invaders, but because of one man who knew Rome too well, who understood its strengths, its weaknesses, and its hypocrisy. Sertorius was not a barbarian king or a rebel born outside Roman order. He was Rome's own creation, trained in its wars, shaped by its brutality, loyal to its ideals. And that is what made him so dangerous, because when he finally turned against Rome, he did so using Roman discipline, Roman strategy, and Roman dreams. The question is not why Rome crushed him in the end. The real question is how long it took and what his rebellion revealed about the empire itself. But before we descend into betrayal, blood, and exile, before the legions clash under unfamiliar banners, there is something you should do. If stories like this fascinate you, stories where history feels like a living, breathing film, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It tells us you want to keep traveling through the shadows of the past, where forgotten figures still whisper their truths. Now let us return to a republic on the edge of collapse. The late Roman Republic was not the stable powerhouse it pretended to be. Beneath the polished speeches and grand triumphs, it was rotting. Power was no longer shared, it was seized. Generals were no longer servants of the state, they were political weapons. Civil war had become a recurring nightmare, and loyalty shifted with terrifying speed. Rome was eating itself alive. This was the age of Gaius Marius and Lucius Cornelius Sulla, men whose rivalry drowned Italy in blood. Proscriptions turned politics into death lists. Senators were murdered, properties seized, families erased. The Republic still existed in name, but fear ruled in practice. And it was in this world that Sertorius rose. Born into a modest Sabian family, Sertorius did not inherit greatness, he earned it. As a young officer, he distinguished himself in brutal campaigns against Germanic tribes. He lost an eye in battle and wore the wound like a badge of honor. Soldiers trusted him because he bled with them. Commanders respected him because he delivered results. He was disciplined, pragmatic, and fiercely loyal to the Marian faction, which claimed to represent the old Republican values against aristocratic tyranny. But loyalty in Rome was a dangerous thing. When Sulla marched on Rome and seized power, Sertorius found himself on the losing side of history. Declared an enemy of the state, he was forced into exile. For most men, this would have been the end, a quiet disappearance, a forgotten name. Sertorius chose a different path. He fled west to Hispania, a rugged land of mountains, forests, and fiercely independent tribes. Rome saw it as a frontier. Sertorius saw it as an opportunity. There, among the Lusitanians and Celtiberians, they found people who hated Roman exploitation but respected strength and honor. Sertorius offered them something radical, not just rebellion, but an alternative Rome. He trained local warriors as legionnaires. He enforced discipline, but allowed autonomy. He punished corruption and rewarded loyalty. Slowly, impossibly, he built an army that fought like Romans, but hated Roman masters. Even more shocking, he established a Senate in exile, complete with Roman magistrates and laws, claiming he was not fighting Rome, but saving it. Imagine the audacity of that moment. a Roman general, branded a traitor, standing in the wilds of Hispania, declaring himself the true defender of the Republic. To the Senate in Rome, this was insanity. To the people under Sertorius, it was hope. Rome responded the only way it knew. It sent legions. General after general marched west, confident that a renegade exile could not stand against the might of the Republic. They were wrong. Sertorius knew Roman tactics intimately. He avoided open battles, used ambushes, cut supply lines, and turned the terrain into a weapon. Roman columns vanished in mountain passes, camps burned at night, morale shattered. At one point, Rome sent Metellus Pius, a seasoned and respected commander. Sertorius humiliated him repeatedly. The war dragged on, draining Roman resources and pride. Finally, in desperation, Rome sent a new rising star, Gnaeus Pompeius Magnum, Pompey the Great. Pompey expected glory. What he found was a nightmare. Sertorius outmaneuvered him, defeated him, and forced him to beg Rome for reinforcements just to survive. For years, Hispania became a bleeding wound in the Republic's side. Sertorius had done the unthinkable. He had matched Rome not with chaos, but with its own methods. Yet even the greatest threats rarely fall from without. They rot from within. As Sertorius's power grew, so did envy and fear among his own officers. Roman nobles who had joined him in exile never fully accepted his authority. They wanted victory, but they wanted it on their terms. They whispered that Sertorius was becoming a king, that he relied too much on local tribes, that he was losing his Roman identity. One night during a banquet meant to celebrate unity, the knives came out. Sertorius was assassinated by his own men, led by Marcus Peperna. There was no heroic last stand, no battlefield death, just betrayal in the dark. With Sertorius gone, the rebellion collapsed almost immediately. Peperna was captured and executed by Pompey. Hispania returned to Roman control. The Senate breathed again. Officially, order was restored, but something had changed forever. Rome had learned that its greatest danger was not foreign armies, but Roman generals with convictions. Sertorius became an uncomfortable memory, quietly pushed aside by historians loyal to the winners. He did not fit the narrative of inevitable Roman destiny. He proved that Rome could be challenged not by barbarians, but by its own ideals turned against it. Some ancient writers praised him as a model of justice and leadership. Others painted him as a dangerous rebel. Modern historians still debate his legacy. Was he a traitor or the last true Republican, a warlord or a reformer ahead of his time? What cannot be denied is this: for nearly 10 years, one forgotten general forced Rome to confront its own corruption, and Rome responded the only way it could, by erasing him. As you think about Sertorius, ask yourself this: how many names like his have been lost because they threatened the story the powerful wanted told? How often does history remember victory and forget conviction? If you want to keep uncovering stories like this, stories buried beneath triumphal arches and imperial propaganda, subscribe to the channel, leave your like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Tell us which forgotten figure, empire, or rebellion you want to explore next, because history is never as simple as it seems, and its most dangerous truths are often the ones we almost forgot.